There's Huskar banned out on the side of Tundra, and OG has banned out Death Prophet. Sand King leaving Keeper of the Light in the pool. Tundra will, of course, pick that because that is a great hero for, as we talked about, both Saxa and Nine, and we got a Bane Ember coming out from OG.
So they did their, did their homework. They're probably still considering the Pango, but
Yeah.
the Bane is already picked up, right? So they have this Fiend's Grip that's always going to be an element that Pango has to watch out for if they even want to draft it, or maybe they just don't even want the Pango at all. But they're going to take it anyway, so even if they picked heroes that could counter it, we couldn't even get to all the things because of how quick we got into it, but, this is just comfort, and it's unbelievably potent.
It's so strong. The Fuseled Blade on Pango, even if it's not a mid Pango and it's a mid Coddle, the combination of these two heroes to be able to get the multiple shield crashes off and swashbuckles in the fight just works really well.
Yep.
It's insane how strong it is, but they do have, as you mentioned, something for the Rolling Thunder, which I think you need to have. Pango doesn't like to play into root mechanics as well, so there's one from Ember Spirit, usually doesn't have that maxed out early on, but looking at the matchup, you know that most likely December is going to be on the mid lane, so it's still good for Pango. One of the, I'm gonna say stronger laners, but he gets the farm and he gets online relatively quickly, even if he's playing a little bit from behind. It's all about the combination of these two heroes.
Yeah, the combo's insane, and it's very flexible still too. Coddle can still mid. That's what he's like. The Coddle can mid, the Pango can play support, Coddle can play 5. Probably not as much, but very flexible draft still to what Tundra can do with it. And let's take a look at some of these bans. So Necrophos ban, they're taking out a lot of 33's heroes. I mean, all 3 of them kind of targeting him right now at this point. And the TA ban, so 2 of the heroes that I've seen that teams really like versus Coddle is mostly the TA and the Storm Spirit. So I think Ember is maybe one of those semi-replacements of just, I get on top of Coddle, right? I always have a way to just get on him, and it's a limited disable already coming out when you see Coddle in some drafts. So these spirits are always going to thrive in a way.
Yeah, because they did play Necro. They played a very similar lineup when they played against Nigma. Also, Coddle plus Pango opener. Necro, they had CK and Weaver. I want to see if they decide to go for Weaver once again, unless it gets banned. The hero is very popular for Tundra, I would say, considering it was being played as a 4 and 5, and also we saw Snaking switching his role, so he does love to play those position 4 heroes from a 5 role.
I'm curious, is one of the heroes that is left in the pool that both teams haven't gone for is the IO.
Yeah.
I know that people are generally not a fan of IO Keeper of the Light combinations, but I do think it worked at least one game earlier this week.
If they want to do something like IO Gyro, they can still go for it. Because sure, your stuns might be limited, but Pango is going to be able to make up for that in mid-game. And, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. It's Tundra specialty, right? It's literally their favorites. If they get a Gyrocopter on Skeeter with IO, I want to say they haven't lost within a very long time.
They've not lost with it this tour,
well,
that's for
I
sure.
mean, at Dubai as well. I don't remember. I think maybe they lost one game with them with the IO Gyro, if even that. They are very comfortable with the way they play the map. And the key thing that I've seen, the way that Tundra protects their cores, they always have this partnership. Either they have this IO +1 or they have this Coddle sitting behind +1. It's always these duo partnerships throughout the whole game, actually, if you watch their heat maps. So they're always really strong with them. Even if it's not, they don't have stuns, they always will draft themselves to make sure. They'll have a CK with the Coddle or something, or a CK with the IO.
But surely also OG could still go for the IO Gyro.
Yeah, they also love to play it, so it's a possibility. Looking at the bans, Faceless Void banned out. Doesn't strike as a good Faceless Void game in terms of what they have so far. There's not much damage they can put inside a Chrono, but maybe they've played it in scrims and they know why Faceless Void was so strong, and that they will split up the combo that we mentioned.
Yeah, so they'll take out Gyro. So now it's unless they have another IO pairing, which it's a lot more limited. The CK is still in there, so I think IO CK could still work, because then it works well with Coddle, with Pango too. It's one of Skeeter's favorites if they want to go down that route. And you see Bane, so one of the supports is already a bit limited on what he can do for AoE control. But let's see what OG does to prepare for it, because they could just still pick a couple heroes that have some AoE and control and anti-CK mix, if they think it's going down that route.
Yep. Could still very well be. They are taking into their bonus time to discuss what they're going to do with this one, and they will go for their Taiga Enigma.
Okay. I mean, it's greedy, though, and I know, the Enigma's worked out for them a couple times, but playing versus a team like Tundra, who likes to just end games, put pressure on early on, I'm always a little worried seeing an Enigma, so I want to see something else that they have planned with it that's going to
they need some BKB piercing ability eventually. Beastmaster still in a pool. I'm down for Beast. Very nice with a Coddle if this is going to be position 4 Coddle. I wouldn't mind seeing something like Venge as well. Very flexible in terms of how you can play the hero. Also can be a core. This hero scales extremely well. If you can get the Aghanim Scepter timing, you get Shard eventually. The hero just feels really good. I don't think you want to allow Enigma to just walk freely and get off that like BKB black hole. You need to have something against it.
Yeah. I want some type of just harder lock, like some hard lockdown for Ember, so just some straight stun or silence or something, because if you're just relying on ults, then it can be a little problematic. So I mean, Venge can work. And I like Venge Coddle. Once you get the 15 talent, you have perma-stuns. But they're going to go for their Abba. They did this the other day, too. They did Abba Necro, but this one they're going to do Abba Bat. Okay.
That is a BKB disable, but seems a little risky to still have against the Enigma, because you can, when you blink in,
Yeah.
you're basically blinking into the black hole.
I think it's more about forcing the Ember. Like now it's like Ember doesn't run and go mid lane most likely, because it just is it gets to be a really impossible matchup pretty quickly for the Ember. And they love Bat versus Bane. The Abaddon versus Bane. They've done this now multiple times. The Shield versus the Fiend's Grip, of course, also versus Ember, very valuable. All these heroes, very low cooldowns, too. Like a nice Chakra. I mean, on every hero in the game, but Chakra on Abaddon or Pango looks pretty nice.
Oh, the double shield
Double
and
shield,
double heal.
miscoil.
I also remember game where snaking did by full Aghanims. I think it was Gamers Galaxy, where like he managed to farm up with the Philly, so that helped a lot. Aghanim Scepter on Abba, good way to counter like these big teamfight ultis.
They'll be the ones to get Weaver.
Good pickup here. They have no real lockdown. They don't have a single silence nor a stun that Weaver is afraid of. Can easily jump into backlines, find this Keeper of the Light. They needed a vision hero, so looks good. Gives them a bit more like Roche taking potential on top of them. Bug synergize as well nicely with the Sleight of Fist early on.
Huh. Yeah, a bit interesting. They literally have no stuns now, and there's an Ember Spirit first too, and a Weaver. It's like now your carry, which is Skeeter, has to do kind of a lot, unless they're just playing like full up around like this group up mentality of just we don't need stuns, we're just gonna group and go. But
What do you guys feel about the pace that Tundra can set with the heroes that they have? Because normally they set a pretty high pace, right?
They can. They're a bit limited in terms of tower damage. They can shove out the waves quickly with Keeper of the Light, Pango, Batrider, but they need someone to kill the towers with, because Batrider doesn't do that, neither does Pango, and both supports also have no damage whatsoever.
yeah, I'm actually like wondering what the last pick is for Skeeter here, unless he's gonna play something unorthodox like Pango.
Luna is okay. I think it gives them like good group up, gives them that tower damage, not necessarily like a level, you know, let's say post 10 minutes, but very strong in terms of the team fighting as well.
Radiant team back.
Okay, so they probably want to get Phantom Assassin, right? That this is whenever I see Bloodseeker ban, it just strikes me as a Phantom Assassin game, because the hero ruins BA with the Rupture, and they have limited amounts of stuns.
Isn't it also, could it just be like they're making Weaver a carry? I haven't seen it at all. I'm only saying that because I see Bane Enigma. Right? Taiga's usually the Enigma player, and then they have a Bane, and then where's this Weaver going? Right? So I think like the Bloodseeker ban kind of makes me feel like it might be... I mean, it's really weird, but like it's
doable.
Right? Like it's
I've
doable.
been saying
I haven't
that
seen it.
a lot of times where I feel like it could be a good Weaver game, because there are not many silences and stuns, and it never happened, so I gave up on it.
Same. And also when I used to see Batrider, it used to be a counter matchup versus the Bat. It's changed now that Chikuchi's cooldown has been nerfed several times, but...
And that
That's
would
just
mean
interesting.
that we would be looking at a Amar hero for the last one for OG, right?
Yeah, unless he goes to the Enigma or something like that, but that doesn't feel like a
It doesn't feel like his hero.
I mean, it does feel like it when it's, you know, you think about Enigma farming with some Eidolons and stuff like that, but... So they ban the Luna. They're along the same mentality of you about the group up and have some extra tower damage, because right now Tundra doesn't have any.
Yeah, that means we're looking for a hero for Skeeter. As far as the heroes go that he has played this tour so far that are still in the pool, there's only CK left.
Yeah, and works well with Coddle, but doesn't give him tower damage, but does give them Roche. Really good Roche with Pango, Abba, and CK if they go for it, and it gives them a stun, at least, on their core.
True.
TB still in the pool
Yep.
if they want to just get something, but yeah, okay, it's like
Yeah,
We have Skeeter on the team.
Oh,
he
look
wants
at that
to play
snap
the
pick.
hero.
Instantly a Timber
So
Saw.
yeah, it looks like Weaver carry, right? Yeah, Yuragi
Yeah.
on Weaver, Amar Timber, and he is versus what looks like to be a double melee, the CK plus a bat in lane, most likely. And it is going to be that bat and that Coddle in the top lane.
Okay, so they're swapping things around. Also, they are putting this Batrider against the Timbersaw, and that's what they're trying to figure out. There's going to be a lot of lane shenanigans. Who wants to dodge what? Tundra, they want to have Batrider against Timber. Timber might be alone on the safe lane, and they like run an aggressive tri-lane as well. There's so many things that can be done. I just want to see like what the first minute of the game is going to look like. But looking at the draft, it's a last pick Timbersaw. You know that Amar says, okay, how do you feel about it? He feels very good. You know that then it's a good Timbersaw game. But looking at the draft, I like what Tundra has a little bit more, because this is Pango that builds into the Fusel Blade early on, something that Timber doesn't like to play into. He is tanky, but if he can get his spells off, he can't get away with the Timber Chain, he dies.
Yeah, and I'm also I'm unsure about how Weaver is now as a carry. As I mentioned, the changes that have happened. Shakuchi has a very long level 1 cooldown. Like in the past,
seconds.
In the past versus Sticky, you lane Weaver versus Bat. Like this is quite a long time ago now, but Weaver did very good in the matchup because you'd play around your cooldown, you'd Shakuchi through, guaranteed last hits. Now, you can just get chased down. He sees you use that Shakuchi, he flame breaks you, chases you. But they're probably not going to have that exact lane matchup as Lacoste is mentioning. But yeah, still liking the group up, and I just think Coddle and Pango is pretty broken, to be honest.
I feel like Tundra got basically all they wanted with that opening for sure. That being said, it is Amar's Timbersaw, and I know he didn't win the last official that he had with that, but it is his staple for a reason. Let's see if that is enough to propel OG here to a victory, or if Tundra will take the lead here in a game 1 of this best of 3 series. We're heading over to our commentary duo. It is Cap and SVG.
It's been 9 months since the old OG gate-kept Tundra out of TI, and since then, Tundra themselves have become the gatekeepers when it comes to OG. They've won every single series against OG until last season. OG got their first victory, 2-1 against Tundra. Now it's time to see if they can keep that momentum going in what is a much-needed win for them. Otherwise, they go down to a score of 2-2, not where they want to be.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a battle for the top of that league, so to say, hoping to bring Tundra down a notch. And I really think this draft was super interesting. I almost feel like OG was kind of soft baiting this Chaos Knight the whole time, because they just know Skeeter loves this hero. Tundra kind of wanted a stunner initiator in that last roll. They were super ready for it, I think. I think they're very confident in Enigma Timber being able to pick up the slack and this Ember late game. Very interesting draft. Like this Ember Weaver, we don't see Weaver carry a lot, but he's old. Like it's a very old school CIS type carry thing, and all these guys love to play this carry Weaver because you can get hyper aggressive with it. You can snowball, you can win your lane. This hero can go 16-0 and then you die once and you lose sometimes. That's the double edge of the Weaver, so to say. But
really cool use of the Weaver already. They had him Shakuchi out. Yep. He's carrying a Quelling Blade. He is also carrying one of the support Sentry. And so he did the play where he cuts down that one tree and places the sentry. So even if you deward it, you may not be able to find that ward. You have to actually cut down a tree to be able to see it in the first place. So already OG, well thought out plan by them.
And he's getting this deep ward. And what this ward is designed to do is OG does not want to get wrong lane matchups here. Because Tundra really wants this Bat versus Timber. And I think they also want Coddle versus the Enigma lane. That one's a bit more debatable, but I feel like they really want these two. And if they get it, they're going to be super happy because Tundra's heroes are all about this lane snowball pressure. Like Pango Bat really want to get ahead in this game so Coddle can back them up on the map and they take it over early. I really think if this game goes later and OG's on even footing, some of these team fights are going to be difficult.
Yuragi unable to outclick the Keeper of the Light means they do lose out on the Bounty Rune War. But maybe they can still get the lane matchups that they want to be able to have. Batrider versus Timbersaw is there in the top lane, safe lane. Snaking already taking a lot of damage. Taiga with the Eidolons, putting that extra pressure in this bottom lane.
So they did get this Bat versus Timber. At the same time, I feel like this Enigma versus Abaddon is super good for Enigma, especially in this kind of scenario where you can deny from the carry. So kind of got one, missed the other in my opinion, but we'll see how this tri-lane pans out, how long OG commits to it as well.
Yeah, it's possible that, right, maybe they're just giving the Timbersaw like a little bit of a good start, you know, like get level 2, level 3, and then maybe he comes down here.
What, the Timber coming bottom, you're saying, or the Coddle, you mean?
The Timber.
it's hard for Timber to rotate, right? Because just every time you TP, then Bat follows you. And then you're kind of like stuck in this quad lane scenario that gets kind of weird.
Okay, so would you rather keep the Timber here, and
Yeah,
where
I
he's
think
at
so.
least in his safe lane?
I think you just man up and play the matchup. Amar is one of the most experienced Timbersaw players, so
Yeah, and
If
he
anyone
also
knows how
seems
to
like
do
the
it.
kind of person who was like, no, I could beat this guy. I'll play him.
yeah, he might have called.
Yeah.
Let him 1v1 me, boys. I'll show you how it's done.
Do a little back laning, so that's one way to be able to pull that Timbersaw away from the protection of his tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, our mid lane matchup, we got a BZM versus 9. I think this mid lane matchup is very exciting. Even if the mid lane mechanics aren't the same as of old, I still think that this 1v1 should be a bit of a treat to watch. We've got Pango on one side, Ember on the other.
BZM winning the early waves here, so
Yeah.
he's doing pretty well. Anytime I feel like Ember's doing well in the laning phase, this hero's always going to be a force to be reckoned with. And like that panel was talking about, not a huge amount of stuns on Tundra's side, so this Ember can sway this early laning phase a lot, potentially. We're going to see Amar just getting chased down here.
Another Timber Chain coming up. Oh, he planted a tree in front of him, and that's just enough. 33 gets in front of him. What a baller move by 33. Plants the Ironwood branch right in front of the Timbersaw, so he was not able to get far enough.
What a monster.
Absolutely.
Turning the trees against him.
He is afraid of trees. Now you see why.
If Amar ends up winning this game, I guarantee you he's going to be planting some branches outside the fountain. He's going to mix it up.
That is a good one. That is a good one. I like that. I hope he does. Hope we get to see that at least.
You remember, this guy remembers the early laning phase grievances.
It's true. He does.
He might
really
just be
does.
powering him up here.
Yeah, we actually talked about that last time we cast the OG series, right? Is that like, you know, he lost his lane, he got tipped, and he came back with a vengeance in the mid game.
But this is not a lane that gets better for him over time. This is one that gets worse, and he is so far behind on this level disadvantage here. Those early pulls working in Tundra's favor. I'm worried for Amar in this laning phase. OG's going to have to make up for it on bottom and mid. We see Taiga with a weird rotation mid, almost working out.
Yeah, they force out the Fairy Fire at least. Misha, Yuragi going to battle here, going to war against Skeeter. Snake King being so annoying, sitting on the front lines, getting on top of Misha. He has to turn around in Nightmare before the stun could come in. Snake King relieves it with the Abandoned Shield, but they're not going to go for the dive here. Misha will survive. Uh-oh, Amar is after him again. The Timber Chain's not going to be up in time. A second kill for 33 as he doesn't even bother tipping Amar just yet.
This lane is becoming a problem for OG. Like, this Bow Rider is getting massively accelerated. Timber cannot enter this lane again. Like, if he TP's back up here, I feel like he's just going to get dove again. And he doesn't really have anybody who can help him. Like, Taiga doesn't want to go up there. Misha, I think he has to go up here, but all he can really do is sleep the bad aggressiveness. So it's kind of an awkward position for him to be in, but
yeah,
like
if
OG
the Keeper of
has
Light
to.
is there, he just takes off the Nightmare. You're back to where you started.
This is not the easiest position for OG already, but yeah, again, like, Bane has no choice here because Amar is going to get dove.
Yep, he absolutely is. You can see 33 thinking about it right now, but they do spot Misha while it's still daytime, so that element of surprise is now gone.
I think your best counteract is, again, like, you're hoping this top lane, okay, it's going to go bad for us early, but Amar can come back. At the same time, you're going to hope Skeeter gets shut down a bit at the same degree, and honestly, he is. Like, his laning phase has been pretty disrupted by the early Enigma denies. He was tri-laned. So the Chaos Knight, this is not a hero that ideally wants to function from this bad of a laning phase. He can come back with just, like, the armlet EHP in the fights, but
ultimately, he's not like some flash farming carry, right? He's not going to be able to get back into the game that way. It's going to have to be through fighting.
he might even go down here.
Yeah, he is going to go down. So his net worth is sitting pretty close there to the Timbersaw. He's slightly more CS, but he's not feeling great. And that is a big difference, right, between Timbersaw and Chaos Knight, is that I would say Timbersaw operates much better without net worth, but just having raw levels.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Like, Chaos Knight can have some decent power spikes. Again, that Tread Armlet can really pump you up. Maybe you win a fight, and then you can come back by farming the map. But Timber, he can kind of do similar things, right? This is a hero that can shove waves super fast, get jacked. Amar knows how to rice on this hero. I've learned that from experience in pubs, so
Ooh, BCM slightly off the timing there with a sleight of fist to dodge the roll. Not that it matters. He did have a Remnant already out to be able to pick up the Arcane Rune. And it looks like Snake King is going to be able to pick up a kill on Taiga. Sure, his life is traded out in return, but you got to know Snake King's happy with that one, no matter how stoic his response is. Arcane Ember still chasing after him. BCM a little bit low on mana here. He's still going to go for it. One more slight. It's coming up, but 9 is already swashbuckled away. So instead he turns towards Saksa. But that is also a kill out of his reach.
BCM saying, I don't need Coddle, I'll just get the Coddle rune, so to say.
Yeah, that's true. Combination of a quick trip back to base via his remnants, and he's in fighting shape once again.
Taiga's been pretty aggressive around these mid runes, like we saw the earlier gank. He sometimes can be awkward for Enigma, but I feel like he's having a decentish impact outside of that death. Even that was a trade, and he got his Ember of the Rune.
They are really trying hard for this kill on a Bane that does not seem like they would ever be able to get it. But you're going to try again, this time around with the Keeper Light. With a blast, it just might be enough, but it is not. One more swashbuckle, but it's going to be far too late. So a bit of over-aggression cost Snake King his life. And now Skeeter, who has been left alone, all the supports are showing mid. They know they can go for this dive. They know they've got this kill in the bag. Hiragi picking up the killing spree now.
I mean, OG really putting on the pressure where it matters most, abusing Tundra's weakness here, which is this Chaos Knight. Leveraging that, even getting support TPs down. Like, Saksa's going to get dove here too a bit.
Yeah, just keeps going for it with a Malefice.
Tundra,
Saksa is pretty much teleported
response.
into a dead end. I mean, does Chaos Knight really want to come back here again? He's going to try and go for the kill onto Taiga. Malefice is coming up in a second, though, so Skeeter could take a lot of damage on his way out. Malefice doesn't go down. Amar needs some help, though. This is the lane where Tundra is furthest ahead, and the Nightmare is going to be too late. He's stuck. Amar dies again. The one bright shining part here for Tundra is this 33 Bat Rider.
And he's already got Boots of Travel coming out. So if anyone is going to break this game open for Tundra, it's definitely going to be 33 this game, using that early Boots of Travel to sway some of these other lanes. At the same time, though, it might be difficult for him. We're seeing this Weaver just... Hiragi is not letting up on the early aggression, and this is a scenario where does Bat want to TP into a Weaver lane and try and skirmish this guy? This is part of that matchup and why they picked it for carry this game. Tundra's stuns are pretty limited.
Yeah.
One of their best stuns is Chaos Bolt. It's on a hero that's been super debilitated in the early game, so this is also freeing up Ember and Weaver to hit that mid-game stride.
So 33 is going to have to be very careful about where he chooses to rotate and apply pressure, because if he misses out on a gank, it just means he's getting Amar way back into the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, every time he moves on the map, this Timber is going to start shoving the lane. He's going to start farming. And here we're seeing Hiragi just giving Skeeter no place to go.
He's going to go for it. He's going to keep it up. There is going to be the miscoil to help out. He does pop the Phantasm. Hiragi's like, great, okay, I got you to use your ultimate. That's already going to limit your farm even more than it already has been.
Here's 33 looking for... He needs to get this kill.
He absolutely does. He pops the dust. Hiragi, Taiga to intercept. There it is. The Maledict. Is that stun going to be enough? It looks like it. 33. You would need a Dream Flame Break to be able to get this one. A bounce back during mid.
He might even die here.
He's going to turn around. BCM is now here. It's going to be troublesome for 33 to be able to get away from this one. Another slide is coming up. They do have the roll on the other side of things, though. 9. He challenges BZM and forces him to get away from the Bat Rider. The Bat Rider makes the rotation, doesn't die, but simultaneously doesn't get the kill that you said was integral to Tundra's comeback.
There's another rune fight here. Haste bottom. That's going to go to Ember. Again, OG just winning these rune fights for their mid. This is super big because it's accelerating Ember into this mid game really fast off these early runes that he's putting to good use.
Dude, I hate seeing Ember get free runes. It's like Quap of last patch, you know? You just can't give this guy the freedom of all these power runes.
Yeah, 9 did not make the proper sacrifice to Valve this morning.
No, he's
not winning those tosses. Even there, he might have got its slight stolen, so...
Taiga,
easy.
Going to be opting for a fast Orchid build up here.
Yeah, I was looking at it. It's pretty interesting because you can get this early Void Stone, but I haven't seen this too often, and it is a long item to build up for Enigma with some awkward components, you know, Claymore, Blitz Knuckles. Not exactly optimal early Enigma items, but the payoff could be really nice this game.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people doing this last patch with Enigma, but with the new Orchid, I think this is going to be the first time I've ever seen anybody do it, so.
Yep. Looks like Tundra will just trade towers here. Maybe not, though. I kind of feel like they should defend their safe lane this game. Like, the early bat bots, the Pangolier loves fighting around his towers here, and same
Looks
with
like they're
Model.
gonna try. Sox is already TP'd in, so 33 on his way. Taiga
is a
gonna
black
be caught
hole.
out. Flame break straight into the lasso. Very pretty combination there from 33.
OG's all coming down here to collapse. No Tundra stuck. Amar wants to do business.
Oh yeah, and he's
Says
got
the
20
shop's
stick
open.
charges to go for it. He immediately doesn't even think for a second about whether or not he should go for the dive, just pure aggression. Looks for
nice
the Timber
grip.
Chain out, actually stuck. A beautiful Fiend's Grip on the side here, stopping the aggression of the Pangolier, but finally it's led up. The last bit of roll is going to be able to catch the Bane. Still looks to be able to catch Amar, but Amar is far enough away with the Timber Chain. 33 chasing Taiga on the other side of things with a TP scroll, though. And Tundra does successfully keep their tower alive and does not get smashed by the sandwich OG was looking to bring.
That's part of the power of this Coddle Abaddon supports, like fighting around that tower, double sustain. The heals coming out from the blast and the shields. And yeah, meanwhile, Skeeter, he's catching up. So this game is kind of like, you know, I feel like the teams are trying to make aggressive moves, and if it doesn't work, it's allowing the hero that was destroyed in that early game to come back.
So initially it was like Amar, now it's Skeeter, who's, you know, both of these heroes, both of these cores who had their early farm diminished are being able to get some semblance.
And it's kind of about what 33 can get done and what Uragi can get done, because I feel like they're the most accelerated in this game, and they're both very powerful early game heroes who can join the fights easily. Like this Weaver with Maelstrom, he wants to fight, he wants to farm, but he also wants to be farming heroes with this, you know?
Yeah.
Like this hero is super powerful in these early skirmishes. We saw it bottom, just getting the dive train on. So OG, they're gonna have a second Maelstrom on this Ember pretty soon. And I think that's gonna be a signal to
The early
get the
diffusal
fight.
blade. Good read though from
very
BCM.
nice.
He actually already had a remnant out preemptively.
That is the strength of this Pango. This is why Tundra likes this hero so much. The diffusal timing is insane. Just the early mana burn. Like, if you ever land the full mana burn on Bane or Enigma, that's basically one of their spells. They're just not getting off in a fight. Yeah. It's super annoying.
So you were talking about the basically the matchup and how these two cores want to look at this game. So would you say, for the most part, that a more static game is favorable for Tundra because they need their Chaos Knight back into the game? Or is it a little bit more finicky than that?
I mean, these things kind of change depending on where the farm rates come out, right?
Yeah.
Like, once heroes start to get different items, once this Ember and Weaver get their second item or so, even on their way to their second item, these heroes farm insanely fast. Enigma's going to start to come online as that third core for OG, which is going to be interesting to see how they bounce that between him and Amar, because Amar's kind of in catch-up mode, and Timber can play this distraction, like, pseudo-utility route with some Lotuses and Yules and stuff. But knowing Amar, he wants to get farmed, so if OG gets away with it right now, I think it favors them. But at the same time, it's going to get hard for them to get away with it here with this bad Coddle and Pango who can just be everywhere on the map.
Yeah. Taiga, again, going to be caught out in this bottom lane. He just continues to try and farm up this lane. Maybe it's better for him to be ganked than some others. I don't really know, but you can see BZM, his rotation down here felt a little futile.
This is where 33 just has to close out parts of the map with his strength right now, because he is a beast. And they don't really have any of those early dispels or saves or, you know, napalm resets. So he can get a lot done in these early skirmish fights if he can find them. At the same time, we do see Taiga go back for that blink. And I feel like this is the correct choice this game. I think he needs to get something done with these black holes, be a bit more aggressive with his Ember and Weaver. Like, if he can ever black hole this Bat or black hole this Pango and just get the core kill for his life, it's super worth it here.
Yeah. See Bat Rider just operating all over the place after the laning phase. A couple of kills that he got on Amar in the top lane, but otherwise he's made an appearance in both of the other lanes. As a result, the score is 7-7. Very, very even game right now. But OG have just picked up that Blink Dagger, so an opportunity for them perhaps to win a small skirmish or team fight.
Might be looking top. No, Uragi TP's out. Again, this tier 1 bottom is constricting their map, and they just don't see a lot right now. Like, they have one Dire Ward bottom and basically nowhere else. I see creeps hitting mid. That's like the next best piece of vision. And they know no one's even defending this, so I think that's part of why OG is so scared right now. Like,
Yeah.
hey, why was nobody defending mid for a while?
It's a very weird tower to be undefended, that's for sure, yeah.
I'm kind of surprised this mid tier 1 got chipped so much this game, like in general. Like, I don't even remember anyone really chipping this.
Yeah, it's a Pango versus Ember. You're not really expecting either of those heroes to be laying in some tower damage, so that is kind of interesting, yeah.
Just the rogue catapult, I guess. CMR, he did rush this Lotus, so he knows what has to be done in this bad Timber matchup, and Lotus is incredibly strong versus this patch. I feel like even more so than some other patches, but
The heroes
Isha.
collapsing from Tundra. They are going to be able to find the kill onto the Bane. For a second there, you're looking at it from OG's perspective. They were the Predators looking to be able to catch 33 underneath the tower, but no. BCM, oh no, a disarm from 9 allows him to be able to get the deny on the tower, and a little pause to celebrate the victory. They did, we're having some Discord issues during the draft as well, so looks like this might be a continual thing that'll hopefully get fixed soon. What a disarm.
no tower for you, sir.
All right, so if you kind of pointed out that this bottom safe lane tower that Tundra has managed to keep up, you said they should defend this, and they have been, and they've kept it up, and you said it's constricting the map for OG and causing problems for them. How does OG rectify that? Like, should they just, is it as simple as them just like 5-manning bottom with this Blink Dagger on Enigma? Is that enough team fight for them, or is Tundra's defense like too strong just to do something so bold?
I don't think you want to force it. We kind of saw them earlier kind of angling to do that. They brought the 4, but it just becomes so awkward when Tundra commits their whole lineup down there. Like to dive in Abaddon, to dive this Caudal, you're basically giving the fight to this Pango Bat, and then Skeeter can choose to come in later, right? If the fight's looking good, and he'll just clean it up. It's just way too hard to dive them like that unless, you know, maybe if this Timber was having an insane game, but I don't think they have to force it at the same time. We saw like Yuragi went top and he kept this top lane in, kind of playing the opposite side of the map to try and force Tundra into an awkward position. It's always nice to get this tier 1 tower down, but it's not a necessity when your lineup functions with the enemy running into you, which kind of feels like the state of the game right now. Like OG is going to be super happy if Tundra takes the aggressive fight into their heroes. They will be super glad to fight around one of their tier 1s, fight around their triangle. It gives Enigma and Bane like a super good fight when they can see the Bat and Pango. Then they get to choose to use Grip and Hole. So OG doesn't mind those fights, but sometimes in games like this, as a player, you feel a bit awkward. You know, you're like, this tower should be down, guys. We want to get an enemy triangle. Our vision's constricted because again, like, where are these OG wards, right? I think we've seen one ward on Tundra's side of the map, and it was like behind that tier 1, and they didn't even really get to use it. So sometimes that can feel a bit, you know, like it's strangling your options a little. And then we'll see OG, they're going to make the smoke play here. Where are they going to go? This is part of the issue. This tier 1 mid did die, so they're just going to look mid.
Yeah, they see some options here. 9,
grip him.
perfect opportunity. He jumps forward, and they get a full out Fiend's Grip on him. He's dead. Snake King cannot be there in time. And if anything, Snake King may actually be falling for it.
Misha's super low.
Enough to be able to pop the ultimate. That's good enough. But yeah, those nukes, they got to be careful on some of those backline supports.
That's another haste rune for Ember off the back of that, too.
Oh, jeez. Zember keeps on collecting.
I mean, just a super good read by OG to hit that window where Snake King was not behind that Pango. Because if he gets shielded, like 33 already has BKB. Pango has his Diffu, Blink, and Roll. That could easily be a fight that turns against him, but that ward mid doing a lot of work. Snake King knows. He's like, all right, they knew I wasn't there.
Yeah,
what he doesn't know is they saw it off 2 obs, so he got mind gamed a little.
Yeah. I've noticed that trend lately of people kind of double downing on wards in important areas. You know, like one gets dewarded, nobody really expects the other one to still be in the same area.
I think it's good this game because again, like, where is Misha gonna get obs this game with the state of the map? Like even if he just runs to the enemy triangle and wards it, does it do anything for OG? Not really.
Very interesting play here from Skeeter. They've been playing pretty defensively for the last, 14 minutes or so, and now he's going to try and sneak in this Roshan. They don't know about the other lane ward that was near the Roshan pit, but none of the heroes from Tundra are actually showing on that ward. this is going to be a successful Roshan attempt for Tundra, and this may spur them to then be able to be aggressive, which is where, you know, you talked about OG and how they would actually prefer some defensive fights if possible.
This is a lot of effective net worth going Skeeter's way, though, because now he can play super aggressive. Like, one of the best counters to these long cooldown ults on supports, we're talking about Grip and Black Hole, that is Aegis. People don't really think, oh, because you can't buy an Aegis, but you can buy it in a sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this gives
Cost
Skeeter
of
like,
50 cents of smoke.
yeah, very cheap. Cheapest Aegis.
Snaking is going to be fine here.
This might signal like time to like just take this mid tower and invade OG side of the map. I would kind of like to see it from Tundra here, because 33 is closing in on Blink, Skeeter's closing in on BKB. He's gonna have this Aegis, which is a huge way to just enter the fight, give vision for his team.
You see, Orchid's still really worth it on Taiga when you've gone Blink Dagger and going back for Orchid. I figured you would just go BKB at that point.
Not sure. It's gonna